Yeah. We back at it. It feels good.
It's been a minute.
It feels good
though.
because we got some renewed energy. We probably needed a time to get re-energized because nothing is a re-energizer like Ahsoka.
So dog.
Like who would have thought that? Who would have thought? And I wasn't even in the building when it happened, but I caught up fast. Who would have thought when Snips got off that ship and at first Obi thought that was his Padawan learner. And it was like, no, I'm for Skywalker. And then she called him Sky Guy. And then he called her Snips. That at this point that we fast forward to like this being, so even for me, and I know for people that was really involved at that time, like that's anticipated of an event. So then when you add the fact that characters from Star Wars Rebels going to be involved, so then you even got like, I'm one of those people that Star Wars Rebels is one of my favorite Star Wars stories, right? It's one of my favorite. And if we did a ranking of like just Star Wars, I don't know how you do that, right? I don't know how you do that. Like, what's a Star Wars story, right? Like, like because then we always go original trilogy, prequel.
Yeah, you got Rogue One. That's literally called a Star Wars story.
It's called a Star Wars story, right?
Yeah,
like. But Rebels kind of fall. That's a good point. Rebels kind of falls into that.
Yeah,
Rebels kind of maybe fits into that. But it's one of my favorite just parts of Star Wars. Like I can't even front. Like I get excited talking about it. So adding that in just adds on to what we get into this thing about Ahsoka. And then it's Ahsoka, right? Because Ahsoka ties into a lot of things, right? The Clone Wars, Anakin, like we got to see. I always think this to myself, and shout out to George for wanting to do it with the Clone Wars, the TV, the cartoon, right? The actual series, for wanting to do it.
Oh man!
Because the one thing that for me that got to happen that more than even the prequels did was what it did for Anakin. And really, I don't know if I'm not the first to say this. I'm sure this, but we like seeing Anakin through Ahsoka's eyes. So what we see in Anakin and this character, right? Like we really get to see him being the great Jedi. And actually added into the part. So when his fall comes, we probably see that really through Ahsoka. Like she's like our narrator, right? She's the star of Clone Wars, and then she's like the narrator. We see Anakin through her. We get this better picture of Anakin, right? Yeah. Like so, she ties into so much. So to get to this point, and then we get the Mando. We had an established Mandoverse, right? And also in between that time, we got the finale, the for real finale of where Ahsoka just really shined. Was the finale of Clone Wars and the Siege of Mandalore, which is fucking incredible.
Absolutely.
Siege of Mandalore. I remember when we did our rankings before, and I hadn't watched it yet. So when we ever do our rankings again of like Star Wars, like episodic rankings, right? Got to put the Siege of Mandalore. I couldn't put it in there because I hadn't watched it yet. I hadn't watched it yet.
Yeah.
But if we did that today, I don't know. I just don't know where I'm putting it, but it has to be in there, right? It's as good as it gets. So that's Ahsoka, right? We seeing all that Tales of the Jedi. So get to this part of just sitting there. It's like there's this nervousness that comes with it because it's like, man, because of, we just came off Secret Invasion. It was what it was, and then some of the other shows, season 3 of Mandalore. Yeah, like I like my second watch a lot more, but it was okay, right? It was an okay.
Right.
It's good. It's a good addition to the Mandalorian series. Say all that to say we sitting there as we sitting there and we get the news that the Ahsoka season premiere is actually going to get moved to Tuesday night, which is beautiful for me.
Yes, early.
Beautiful.
You get it in early in the week.
I get it in.
Yeah.
Right. Like, shout out to them because the worst thing about these things. And I know you're not as strong about it as I am, and you don't like about spoilers, right? I'm not as strong as other people, but I'm still a certain way. Like, so when the meaning, like, if the show come on at 3:00 in the morning my time, I'm on the East Coast, on 3:00 in the morning my time, then I wake up. Either the first thing I got to do is watch the show, or I got to stay off the internet the entire day until I can watch it. And usually, I like to scroll, I like to get on the gram. I like to go on YouTube. That's what I do the most. If I'm going, that's what I do the most. I go to YouTube or I go to the gram. Like, it's just what I do. So I can't do none of that really until I watch the episode. And it's this whole build. It's just too much. 9:00, perfect. we finally had got to this moment. Watching I ducked all the trouble. We finally, first episode was titled, we had 2 episodes, right? First episode was titled Master and Apprentice, right? And then the second, it was for Master and Apprentice, and then the second episode was called Toil and Trouble. It's witchcraft, right? It's witchcraft stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But what they really could have titled this thing, what was the season finale of Rebels called? Family Reunion Farewell. Yeah, they could have retitled it again, like
it could have been that. Yeah,
Hello or something, man.
You
Whatever
about
the last episode of Rebels,
last episode,
Family
series
Reunion
finale,
Farewell, series finale.
It was a
this one could have been literally been retitled the same thing and probably put hello, like Family Reunion, first day, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's what it was, like, right, like at its core, because really it was like recapping us. It was filling in the blank. It did what we did. It did what we did when the first Ahsoka trailer came out. When we said we got into, we was like, because you end up being, I believe you're totally right. When did the epilogue? Is it epilogue? I always say it wrong. Is epilogue the Sabine epilogue at the end of Rebels? When did the epilogue actually happen? And I was adamant until we had that conversation. I was adamant that it's right at the Jedi, like Emperor Jedi. We like right at the Jedi, right? Like, and then Ahsoka show up, and then we get the recap, like, oh yeah, Hera was in the battle of Endor. Zeb did this, and then we about to go get Ezra. And no, this is like 10 years. It's 10 years after New Hope, right? It's like
way after,
way after.
So he been out there for a minute.
We at least 5 years. We in the Mandoverse. We at least after Ahsoka. I would say, we gotta say at least after, like,
at least 5 years though.
We at least we either at the moment where Ahsoka ran up on, like, right after Ahsoka ran up on Morgan, because obviously that's how the first part of the episode. At least after she ran up on Morgan, or when she met Luke and Boba Fett.
At least 5 years.
We at least 5.
Yeah.
We could be 6 or 7.
So we 10 years removed from Rebels.
Because
we're talking about the Rebels took place at the end of Rebels take place right before episode 1.
Right.
This is after the trilogy plus 5 years. So that's 5 years. 10 years. Yeah, it's about 10 years.
Because
the course of the trilogy was like 5 years. Episodes 4 through 6. That's 5 years. And then another 5 years when she running the Mando and Grogu, lock Morgan up.
Yeah.
Right, man. 10 years.
We at least 10 years after Rebels. So that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
We at least 10 years after Rebels. And that's basically what, like, I want to say basically, on face value, on the timeline, that's one of the, like, real things we got from these 2 episodes was, like, everything that happened led up to the prologue. And that's how we ended with, quote unquote, is it the show, because there was a little scene afterwards that was pretty dope. I really want to get into this, man.
Oh man,
I really want to get in this. So I want to say a couple things off the top. One of the things, I don't know if you noticed this, if you saw this, you saw this, or if it felt like this to you. But one of the things that this series is really doing, because it looked really good, right?
Yeah. And the presentation was 10 out of 10.
It looked like animation in live action, right? Like the template or the whatever they call it, the tapestry, whatever that is. It feel like really good animation. And then now we have live action people, like, on top of it.
It's like realized concept art.
That's exactly what that's
finally realized on screen. Yeah.
So when we go through the part where we start off and we got the scroll, right? We start off the episode with the scroll. I say it was a big deal because we haven't seen that since Rise of Skywalker. Filoni was gonna make sure he got a scroll in his show. Like, y'all might not be doing it, but I'm gonna have a scroll, right? So I'm gonna have that, and that's kind of where we pick up the episode, was where we find out. Let me say this, and I'm getting excited. The New Republic Tridash.
Oh man, they the worst.
The New Republic.
They are the worst.
God,
by far. Way worse off than they were with the Empire.
It's amazing.
And nowhere near the pre-Republic, the Republic before the Empire.
It's amazing. It's amazing that it took the First Order 35 years to get ready.
Right.
Now, y'all could have got back the next day. This ain't new. All we gotta do is go back to Mando season 1 when you do a rewatch. They were setting the seeds up for letting you know, like the New Republic really ain't that, right?
They're gonna be in trouble.
These people that's around couldn't have been around with the Clone Wars. Like they could not for real have been around, right? Like they may have wanted to take up positions, and I'll transition that to this commander or captain that was on this New Republic ship, the prison ship, right? And when they got the code is old, but it checks out, right? Like I said, it's like poetry. The code is old, but it checks out when when Balin and
line, right?
When Balin and his apprentice are showing up, and he's like, you know what? We'll play the game. Like, dude, you got a prison ship. If it was ex-Imperial,
right?
Why would that be the game you want? We'll go ahead and right. That he could not have been anywhere in the Clone Wars.
No,
as any kind of general, even though he was older, but he wasn't outside in the Clone Wars.
Nah,
he was on some separatist planet where they didn't, like he was on somewhere homeworld, and then like he decided to take up the cause, but he wasn't around in the Clone War because, dude, that was terrible protocol, right? But it fit because that's how the New Republic been portrayed. I mean, as far as like Filoni and Favreau's portrayal of the New Republic in the episodes we've been getting of all these series. That's just off the top. The New Republic is terrible.
That was a goofy scene. Just like, let's let them on. Yeah, it's old code. Checks out. Then you like in Balin's chest, like, you're not a Jedi. Poking his finger in his Jedi.
Hey, boy,
and then looking at him like
huge too, man.
Yeah, you like. Looking at me like I'm small or something.
little boy.
Yeah, you're right, man. Dude could not have been in the he probably was a young boy in the in the early days of the Clone Wars, and then he probably was in the office somewhere during the Galactic Civil War. But yeah, like, where you coming from, bro? Like, you let this dude on the ship, like.
Because you can tell everybody on. You can tell everybody on the ship, like, these people, they got a job. This is a hire, right? Like this ain't a you signed up, you've been enlisted, you went to basic boot camp, whatever situation you got, with your Navy do it, your Army do whatever. Y'all ain't went through none of that. Y'all was probably got IT, you got some tech people being able to look at the scanners and whatnot, right? Them wasn't soldiers.
Nah.
Like, even if we go back, because we're gonna go forward to another scene, but like one of the things we got, I want to talk about this. I want to saying going more just kind of like in a forward scene. It's the first time we've seen Home One since Return of the Jedi, I believe, right? We back in Home One. Where Mom Mothma said many Bothas had died. Is that Home One? I don't want to sound like an idiot, and I'm saying that out. I said that with my chest. Now I want to be like, am I right? Was that Home One?
You talking about?
Remember when Mom Mothma was like,
that ship? You talking about?
No, not that ship, but the one that Ahsoka met Hera. So when Ahsoka showed up with Hera, right? She had the orb.
Yeah, you got me on that one. I'm about to look at that. You might be right though. Yeah. But let me say this about that scene.
Let's go back to that scene. I just wanted to say like, those were soldiers. When Mama gave the speech, them was soldiers. Going back to this New Republic prison transport, they just got hired on. That's what it looked like.
I like what Filoni did here with this scene.
Okay,
because it does parallel literally the first scene you see in the Phantom Menace. Like, it's like the same. It's so Star Wars. Like, right away, like, oh man, it's Filoni, bro. This is somebody who loved it. Hey man, he loved this.
You asked this Star Wars.
That was man. First of all, he got his own crawl. Which, like, Filoni has his own aesthetic now, right? Like, he got his own way of doing Star Wars. He really perfected it in this last Disney Plus season of Clone Wars. That last he really, that red and black. When he came up, when the crawl come up in this red and black, and then he got the two Jedi showing up, and it parallels the Phantom Menace.
They do parallel.
They there for nefarious reasons instead of for peace, like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan was. They here. I like how he pulled you in. That was for the fans. for people
people in the back.
If you're a prequel fan, you recognize that immediately. Like, oh, this is the Phantom Menace. But so it opens up like they there for peace. Like they coming on some peaceful. We Jedi, we friends. But yeah, out of nowhere, like you said, this goofy commander who you could just tell is not a soldier. Yeah, he just So yeah, I just wanted to bring that part up. Just like,
no, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you said that.
Was a parallel of the Phantom Menace. That the two Jedi showing up that way, and
it's a few prequel parallels in this episode.
Yeah,
I like to see that.
That was just the first one I noticed.
You're right. Like the stage has been set, and it's like Filoni really wanted to hammer that nail in. Like, look,
the
New Republic, not ready, right?
You know? It seemed like that's what they set in the stage for. Like you said, they set in the stage because it's like the unthinkable, but then they trying to show you why it could happen. You know, how there could be an heir to the Empire and how the Empire can take back over. It's because the New Republic is so tridash. Like they didn't just hit the reset button on the original Republic. You know, the Palpatine, days. Like they didn't just, you know what I mean? He's showing you right away that it's more to this than just removing the Empire.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Like I always the argument can always be made. Yes, the Empire was bad, but it wasn't like the Republic was just squeaky clean.
Yeah,
before the Empire took over,
100%.
Before Palpatine even showed up, like there was always corruption. You go back in the old Republic, it's always corruption. It was always problems. It was always like chaos in the galaxy. That's why the idea of bringing order to the galaxy is that's like a Sith thing. But yeah, like. This is you see right away, like, man, they got so many problems.
Yeah.
That some people, and then like you said, not to jump ahead, we're gonna move on. But yeah, we see later on in the episode, there are still sympathizers with the Empire.
Yeah.
She called it greed, but it's like, yeah, but also it's like, damn, a lot of people was doing good with the Empire.
Yeah.
they take the personal stuff out of it. Like they didn't lose their home and their planet didn't get blown up by the Death Star.
Yeah,
some people was making
my bad, I mean
a bunch of money.
You look at a world like Corellia, how the Empire, Republic, it don't matter. They shipbuilders. It don't matter.
Is that the first time we went to Corellia? Live action, I know it is.
Han Solo movie was there.
Yeah, they did. You're right about that. You're right. But you always in the books, in the movie, like Corellia is always right. They always was gonna be in business. They make ships.
It don't matter.
They make armor. They got like I know in the books that was like they big thing. Like next to Beskar, they had like the best armor, like Corellian armor.
That's why like I don't want to say I didn't snuff him out because I didn't know it was going to be him. Like he was going to be one up, and we're going to get to that as a sympathizer. But when he said, hey, my allegiances or whatever he said, my allegiances are to the investors, to my investors. Like, yeah, did they roll it out and you like, okay, that's going to be something. But that's real too in Corellia. Like, man, whoever paying me, like, I make shit. I think I want him showing. The guy said it in Return of in the Last Jedi. The stuttering cold cracker. When he was like, hey, it don't matter. You see this ship we done stole? They selling ships to both of y'all.
I don't want to skip ahead. I don't want to.
No. Like I said, we was really just in that beginning part. We see Bayline and we see in his Apprentice. And the one thing I missed in my first watch, because I had this whole thing, and then that second watch, because I was like the first watch, I'm like, I need to watch everything, and you watch everything, you miss a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then we just kind of sit back and relax. You can see some of the things. I had this whole theory. That Shin, his apprentice, wasn't force sensitive. And literally in the first scene, she uses the force to mush everybody back. I missed that.
Damn.
I missed that part. I had this whole thing.
I go back to my questions I got. Yeah.
We was about to get to this, talk about some of the things about to happen. Man. And I was like,
that would have been a hell of a theory.
I don't think she force sensitive, and that's gonna be kind of the dynamic. But no, she used the force to mush. She only did it that one time.
You saying that is not as crazy as even before we even watched this 2-episode series premiere.
Yeah,
you saying that now is less crazy than you if you would have said it before because of what we find out. Like, you know what I mean? Like this idea of training Jedi without force sensitivity.
Yeah,
we got apparently a real concept. We get into that, but
so you get it almost because it started to match, and it was like, no, we got it. Let's get into that a little bit. Let's get into that part of it. Let's
get into it. Let's get into that part of it. We'll speak as if people
we'll go back.
Most people watched it. They watched it.
You watched the episode.
We don't have to do a recap, but
when I first okay, we get to the end of the episode and Sabine and baby girl fight. Sabine and Shin fight, and Shin dog walking her, right? So
easily.
She
barely got two hands on a lightsaber. I think she
dog walking her. She doing this shit on the side. I wish I could do. I can't do that. I'm gonna practice one day. I was about to grab my, but like she doing all behind the back. Some of that Anakin stuff. You know when he hating me doing all that.
Yeah,
she ready. She dog walking Sabine, right? You could tell Sabine ain't been at it, but like even on her Mandalorian stuff. Forget the lightsaber. She ain't been on her Mandalorian stuff because she was always nice Mandalorian wise. That's why I was ready to.
And she kind of shows some of that with the droids, but she's nowhere near ready for a Jedi as much as she would have been coming off the training with Kanan Jarrus. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That Sabine would have fared better against baby girl, but
yeah, she would have. And then secondly, she would have had her Beskar on, so like that work wouldn't happen. But
she took the droids out.
But seeing that. Right. So when they started fighting, I'm like, okay, girl trained and she really whooping Sabine. But like she didn't use any of the force on Sabine. Right. She just was dog walking her. Right. Like left and right. Like she was, she was nice. And I'm like, so my mom was right there was like, yo, she not so okay, cool. So Ahsoka had a non-sensitive, force sensitive because we get into the second episode. Shout out to my man Haiku was a who Haiku
Hayun or you talking about the
Hu Yang,
the droid,
shout out to Hu Yang for filling in those blanks. Yeah, you trit ass with the force.
Yeah, right? He's like, I ain't never seen anybody. He hit her with that line. Like,
I love that scene because she was trying to pity party with a droid, right?
Yeah, you can't do that.
And beyond just getting stabbed, like, getting what happened to her. She was just trying to, nobody wants me. Because, that was my big fear for the show is that we're going to spend a lot of time with her being in this pity party. And he was like, yo, shit, yeah, you trash. But none of those are excuses, right? Like, they don't stop you from training.
Right.
You don't got no force. I don't got nothing to Ezra guy. And I'm being silly, right? But, that was my fear for the season. I feel like Hu Yang just went on and did it that real quick. Hu Yang, a.k.a. Filoni, that he's not going to do that. There's still one part that we're going to get to that is a fear. I don't think that part is a fear anymore.
I think I'm with you,
So he told her, like, you don't got. So I felt like with that scene, I think we got the confirmation that Sabine's not force sensitive.
But then if she is, we ain't seen it yet. There's no history of it.
Yeah.
In this 10-year period, she never showed it.
Yeah. Which is kind of would kind of raise a lot of things like, like I told you, I say, okay, look, I'm probably okay because Sabine was kind of nice at everything in Rebels. Yeah. Like, so like if they say that, okay, but at some point in time with her and Kanan would have noticed it because he noticed it with Ezra. Like the force is, they ambiguous with the force, right? Like it's, like I say, the force, the force is all around us, but could I move that Vader? Can I move the Vader thing behind you, right? Like you got the Vader Funko Pop behind you.
Yeah.
Like, can I do that? And Sabine, that's what separates everyone. It's like some people can move that, and those are the people that's high in the force, as opposed to like the force being all around us, surrounding us. The Obi-Wan. So it's like she was nice at everything. But nah, we can't really make Sabine. And I felt like Hu Yang, aka Dave Filoni, let us know like this is a different situation, which she's not force sensitive. But that raises kind of a question: when do we start training non-sensitive people?
And the only bail I would give them, because I know my bad, I didn't mean to cut you.
No.
I know what question you asking, because I'm asking that question from a a standpoint of like books, coming from the literature. When we start training non-force senses, you can't be a Jedi without the Force. Like I just never heard that. I do under the bell I shoot for him and for them with between the Rebels in this show is if you're gonna do that type of training with anybody, it would be a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Given the fact that they've went through all these years, all these wielders of the Darksaber, they haven't been force sensitive. There's only been one Jedi / Mandalorian, that being Vizsla. So it's not like he passed that. Like the Mandalorians obviously not force sensitive, but they are weapons is a part of their religion.
Yes,
a Darksaber will be a weapon. A lightsaber will be a weapon. So if it's one character that could do that, they could train with a lightsaber. Yeah, but it's more to being a Jedi than
that would be the question. But why would Ahsoka do that, right? Like, and that why would Ahsoka? Because nobody else is doing that, right? Like it was a reason why when they got the Darksaber in Rebels, and it really just wasn't Kanan. It was really the my man, I forget his name, but the guy that ended up joining their cause. I think he was with not Crimson Bond, but
dude with the things on his ears.
Yeah. My man. They was
he was a prick too.
Yeah, he was a jerk. He almost sunned him, and then all of a sudden he saw a lot in Sabine.
And forever to get him.
Yeah, because they had to carry. Remember, he took out Hera. He shot her down. Like she was out of. She was out. Like Sabine was ready to murder something, right? And they was trying to get them to not really help, but allow them to move through because it allowed them, they own those lanes around Mandalore, so they can get to and from. I say all that to say he was part of the thing because the Darksaber meant something to him.
Yeah.
And then Sabine had it, and Kanan agreed, but it wasn't like Kanan was sitting there like, you know what, I want to show her we're gonna train another Jedi.
He never said that. Yeah.
Nah, he was like, yeah, you need to be something for your people. That device, that Darksaber you got means something to your people. But you need to learn, if you're going to hold it, you're going to need to learn how to wield it. You can't just get, if you carry it, people going to come at you. And maybe that's Filoni. I say all that to say, because that was the only reason he would train it. Like, if you're going to have it, right, people going to, it brings on conflict, right? So when they loosely with the word, we training you to be a Jedi, yes, right, they saying that, which is weird, right? But is that really just another way of what like Ahsoka doing what Kanan did? Like, if you're gonna have Ezra's saber, we going, because that's about the only thing she can do. She can't block her. She can fight with it, but she can't like block a blaster. That's Jedi stuff. That's Force, right?
Yeah,
to be able to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do all that Kestis stuff. You gotta have the Force. So it's. And she stopped, right? And I don't want to go too deep in it. So it's like that's like the thing.
Yeah.
This makes me fear that there's going to be a long lead into the season about that, or are we done with it? Like, are we going? Because we don't know why they stopped.
I got a slightly different fear about it. I hear what you're saying. We're not done with it though, and this is why. This is my fear. I'll just go ahead and get into it. My fear with this whole thing is because they show it to you so early. Oh, look, she ain't got no force. She's not a force sensitive. They show you things like that so early.
Yeah,
it's because they already building an arc. She gonna be a force sensitive.
That she gonna conjure it.
She gonna conjure it somehow. And I'm like, because otherwise, why would they show us this early? If the arc, because it's either one or two arcs in my opinion. It's either gonna be an arc of you can be a Jedi without the Force. Being a Jedi is not about being a Force sensitive. Like, it's either gonna be that, or it's gonna be Sabine Wren was a Force sensitive, and we had to bring it out of her. She didn't know she had it in her. She wasn't brought up like a traditional Padawan. See, I think it's gonna be one of those two arcs. This whole idea of being a Padawan, being the Jedi and the Master and the Apprentice, it's not about you being Force sensitive. It's about your discipline and following my directions and being brave enough. Like being brave and being a Jedi, but you don't have to be a Force sensitive.
You sound like Filoni right there, bro. You sound like Filoni, right? That sounds like some shit Filoni would say. Like, I would be shocked if it's not that
Yeah, because I think that's what he's trying to get.
Then actually,
because if she force sensitive to me, that's kind of
they have a scene in one of the scene in one of the trailers, the second trailer, where she was like, "You have no power." No power. I think that's I would have. It's either she gonna conjure the force, like we gonna see it happening, which I wouldn't. Or she gonna do the thing she did in Rebels, where she the rope get to the blade and come off. Right, that's one or two things gonna happen. Right, but like it ain't gonna matter that she ain't got the power. Yeah. That she gonna fight and protect herself, kind of the way that she did against Kanan in that episode, Trials of the Darksaber. Right, and then like it won't be as emotional because she wanted to tell her story again, like my family left me and all this and all that. But it'll be more along the lines of but this is I don't need that to be able to do what I need to do. I'm gonna use my Mandalorianisms to get at you.
I
hope it's that. But really you sound like Filoni. You sound like Filoni, though. That sounds like some shit Filoni and say like the Jedi is with you to discipline the. Yeah,
and part of it is Ezra's influence and his legacy, his inspiration, right? It's got something to do with him. So yeah, I would hope it. I hope she's not force sensitive, because that just kind of like another Jedi, like, you know what I mean?
And it'd be too late. It kind of would wouldn't fit. Like again, we'll see what Filoni do, because it's like she spent all that time with Kanan and Ezra. Right,
nobody noticed. Yeah, it was
and Ahsoka.
Yeah,
like all that time with them.
Yeah,
to it now conjure, unless there's some. I don't even want to give. Now we get into. I will give them.
Right.
You got the life force. And
please don't do that. Yeah, no, not you. I'm saying Filoni. Please don't. Yeah. I hope that's not what's going on.
I'd like just listening to Filoni. Like I know him. What you just said sound like what does it mean to be a Jedi, right?
Yeah. Do you have to be forced, or do you just have to have the idealism? You know, how to be idyllic as a Jedi.
And that's where I was kind of going, not that articulate as you put it, until I saw baby girl force push everybody on in the beginning scene.
Displayed her power.
I totally missed that. Like I was like, oh no, she not. So they both got non-sensitive apprentices, right? And that probably is going to be some kind of.
That would have been dope.
But she got it.
Oh yeah.
She got it.
I know she got it too.
And let's keep it a buck. I love them.
Oh,
I didn't know how I was going to feel about them. I got to one of my notes. I didn't know how I was going to feel about Baylan, because you always got to know whenever they setting up a scene or setting up characters. Like, yeah, I need to know their motivation. I need to know what they about. Once they started, especially Baylan, not both of them, like just seeing her mannerisms, even when she talking to Morgan, and I'm like, oh, they all got some shit going on. Like, this ain't just like Darth and Darth Maul's great. I'm definitely not sunning him, but this ain't just like when you see him and he only say one line in the Phantom Menace, and he like Phantom Apprentice, another great episode of Clone Wars, the Phantom Menace, and being like, once more we should reveal ourselves.
Man,
you know? like that's what he was. He was rage, and he was marching orders, right? And he was incredible. Don't get me wrong, he was incredible. But she really is an apprentice around her master, and he's not Palpatine. And the way he just moved, man, I love. Hey, shout out to Ray. Hey, and shout out to that tribute they put at the end of the
that was
episode
dope.
1.
Yeah.
Once you start hearing them talk, and then especially when we get to the end of episode 2, right? We get to the end of episode 2, and just I realized that I really liked them. Baylan not who I thought he was going. Meaning, like, I thought Baylan, just looking at like he was gonna get this like when he hit the dude off, he's like, hey, I'm no Jedi. Then he put one in him, and but he from the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
he from the Jedi Order.
Yeah,
and he probably not even like, he don't even seem like he seemed more like Dooku from Count Dooku from the Tales of the Jedi.
Yes.
Before we see him or even when Dooku was having that conversation with Kenobi, like,
he's so stoic, man. Yeah,
he like that, like, yo, he was moving. He like you say, he was stoic, And then when they got to talking at the end, we're gonna get to that, but like what he want to do with Ahsoka, like there's so few Jedi left. Be ashamed. Like he not really for that.
He don't
at all.
Yeah, he regret it, but the way he says that, right? Yo, he already thinking in present, he always thinking in future tense. Yeah. I'm about to body. Ahsoka can't hang with me.
Yeah.
Like I know who she is.
Yeah.
She ain't on my level. Yeah. Like he's saying it like, oh damn, it's gonna be a shame. Gotta take her out. Like he don't even know. Like he don't even care. He's just like he seemed right away. He seemed like the final boss. I like that. His apprentice is already a problem. You know what I mean? She, like you said, she dog walking to Sabine. But this dude right here, he seemed like he the final boss.
See, I got him as not the. I walked in thinking
no. I'm with you. No,
he seemed like not. It. I don't think he's gonna be it.
He just,
but he do seem walking in the door.
Nah, he's not my official pick. I'm just saying. Okay. I just like the way. No. We won't give you wrong. We ain't getting to that yet. When we get to that, no, he's not my official pick to be the. He's not the big bad. What I said is like he come across as the way he talk about Ahsoka. It's not like he's not really looking at her as like a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not really saying like,
"Got with you."
All right, well, this is what he ain't even come up. He don't even come up with a plan right away. Like he ain't like, all right, look, we're gonna have to ambush her. You know, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna set her up. We're gonna use this against her. He like, that's a shame, man.
It's a shame, no.
There's so many. There ain't really that many Jedi left, man. I mean, I guess I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? And he already looking at it like I'm about to smoke Ahsoka. You know, so he already got the Ahsoka pack planned. His apprentice, again, another mirror to the Phantom Menace.
Oh man,
the way she was on that, way he sent her off on that planet, and when she was standing there with the hood and her probe droid come up next to her, I'm like, man, this Filoni boy, this dude is prequeled out. I saw all the Clone Wars in that first and second episode. I was like, oh, this Clone Wars. This is Clone Wars.
That had that, obviously that mirrored. Let me make sure.
But that was more Phantom Menace though.
That was that Phantom Menace work when they had the snitch bot and the there's the way they were just standing like, and then that sound that sound when you hear that when you know how that sound go. You're like, man, we here. But another thing that shocked me when in this first episode, even the first two, and while I don't think we see him until the end of the season, they brought up Ezra a lot. Man. I didn't expect to hear his name.
Oh no, they drop him right away. Yeah, they drop his name right away. Yeah,
right. Like, and the impact of it. Like, no, Ezra meant something. Like, it wasn't like, now obviously he was going to mean something, but like they hear how much his name was part of this early story, right? Like, was why like, I don't know why I didn't expect the. Maybe you talked me off the ledge. And I was like, cool. And I still think you're right about that, but don't get me wrong. Because I don't mean we were talking about how much Rebels and like I was saying this was Rebels season 5 versus, and I was all hyped and everything. And on paper, it looked like that. Right. On paper, it looked like that. I don't think we get to that level because I don't think we're gonna get that team back as it was. Right. Like if we get your boy Zeb, it'll be like a one-off. Like he not getting in the Ghost and they riding around doing this adventure, right? Like in my mind, before Zeb was getting in the Ghost and they were gonna be doing all this, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third, and it's not gonna be that, right? Right. But hearing Ezra name is, especially in the right off the top when we get to like Ahsoka, we run up on her. She get into that kind of temple, right? And this what we find out is like more of like a Dathomirian temple. Yeah, let me go back. Immediately when I saw Morgan, and I'm like, yo, I know they didn't recast her, but did they like change her character a little bit?
Their hair, it looked like they definitely did.
Yeah, and I don't remember her having that thing on her head that she had in the Mandalorian. And maybe she did, and I just didn't notice because she might have had her hair different. But like, like it felt like she was her skin color was a little different. Like she was a little different. And we find out that from her, whether I don't know how confirmed that was. I feel like it was confirmed because she said her ancestors. with Dathomir Mirren, right? Like those was not, my line. I was laughing. I was like, what if that's Cal? What if that's Cal and Mirren's little daughter, whatever? I know the timeline would match. Like she older, but I was like, what if that was Cal and Mirren's daughter?
She was alive.
Carry on the heritage, but
that would have been wild. Yeah.
But it can't be. It's not. But
yeah,
when Ahsoka pulls up to that temple. And she gets the orb that she was looking for, the key, right? What do they call it? It's called something. It ain't an orb. I call it an orb, but it's the key. It's the space map.
Man,
the space
map.
Right?
Yeah, that was right? That was weird.
Yeah,
I got another parallel that I didn't want to draw, but
what you got? No. I was just saying that's what they go to get it in.
The whole idea is keep this map, right?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's Phantom Menace. That's like The Force Awakens, right? When they trying to get a map to Luke, when the whole thing, I was like, man, I was like, where have I heard this plot before? This idea that you need this map and you trying to find, and I'm like, it fits way better here with this story, than it did in this idea that Luke left this map to find him, and here it makes way more sense, given the fact that at the end of Rebels, Ezra and Thrawn got blasted into hyperspace.
Yeah,
to another galaxy, pretty much. So it makes way more sense here.
But in between that, it looks like our center, kind of like Rebels, was going to be Lothal, right? Like that's home base. So, the planet you like in the game, you always got to go back to.
Man.
Once you
looked incredible in live action too, man.
Unbelievable, bro. Like, we go back.
You had old boy playing this actually, like he looked just
Rada.
like
we had Rada.
He looked just like him. I'm like, I knew he looked like that, but I'm like, they played that perfectly, man.
Yeah, man, we had Rada, man. I was like, nah. Then they even snuck in your boy, the senator. He was the Jakel. Yeah. So even with him, I was like, but Ryder's Ryder, right? Ryder's Ryder. So it was like, oh yeah, we doing big. It was good. It was like what they said, a love letter, kind of like.
Yeah, that was a good moment. Yeah,
they had to do it, right? A lot of
Clancy Brown.
I don't know if they had to do that, like meaning some of the stuff that you had with Rebels, and if they were going to be part of the show in any certain way, right? At some point in time, because a lot of people I won't say come out of it. That sounds like some hater shit, but everybody's not a Rebels fan, right? Right, let's just keep it a buck, right? A lot of people saying it now, saying more now because it's so like, oh, Rebels, but you probably really didn't like it. You liked the fact that Ahsoka was in there, but it wasn't like Rebels was your thing, and that's okay, right? So you have to, if they were going to do it, they have to sometimes introduce the time they spend on Sabine, and then when we get to Hera, right? Like even a little time on there, you introducing characters to a lot of people, right? Where for somebody like me, you and I, it's like it's family right here.
I agree with you. I think Filoni knows going into it. I think Filoni knows you got to be checking at least two out of those three boxes. Either a prequel fan, a Clone War fan, or a Rebels fan. You got to be checking 2 out of those 3 boxes. You can't be. It's very like I think he played it like he put this out with the intention for people who like 2 out of the 3, or if like us, all 3. You know what I mean? You got to be checking those 2 out of those 3 boxes. This ain't for if you staunch 10 toes down in the original trilogy. You that guy who don't like nothing else.
Yeah,
you're not gonna like this show. But this is a show for you got to be checking 2 out of those 3 boxes. You got to be somebody that's familiar with the prequels, who watched Clone Wars, and maybe you caught a couple episodes of Rebels, or you
vice versa.
You really you really
watch Rebels.
You didn't watch prequels as much, but you like the animated Star Wars, which was Clone Wars followed up by Rebels. If you into those 2 shows, you know what the hell's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you just a prequel fan, you also kind of like, okay, well, I know that there was a Clone War.
Like, if you, so I say that to say, and it might have been this way for you anyway, watching it. But if you didn't, if Rebels, if you didn't, especially, you didn't even got to like it, but if you didn't watch Rebels or you didn't watch Clone Wars, this was a slow burn. It was slower anyway. Yeah. But if you didn't watch none of those, it was really slow.
You really trying to
and you could tell like, oh, they took a long time. Like, yo, they was reintroducing me to Sabine. They got me Ryder. Like they gave me Lethal. They got the Lethal cat.
Yeah.
We got this. Like I'm getting these little different little nuggets, right? Hu Yang. Like I'm getting all these little different little nuggets. Ezra Saber. Like I'm getting this. But if the communication tower, right? I'm getting all that. The Phantom showed up.
The mural.
Chopper, the mural. Like all that stuff is happening. And in my mind, I'm calculating like, okay, so how long is this the prologue? Like, where are we at? Like I'm doing all that. So there's a lot to keep me busy. But if you like none of that, if you don't know who Ryder was, this was a slow show for you.
Yeah. You like who? Because he got some lines. It's not a cameo necessarily. It's a little bit more than that. He talking. He interacting with Ahsoka and Sabine Wren.
Like, he was in the trenches with Sabine.
Where was you at?
Yeah.
That's another question though. Just let me throw this in real quick. Never mind. I just kind of answered my own question.
No, go ahead.
But I was like, damn, was Sabine always this insolent? Like, like she was over the top, just damn near criminal with her disobedience and just
I felt like, and that's part of one of my fears. I felt like she's on the other side, right? So she's on the other side by the end. Once she called her apprentice and all that, Padawan or whatever line was at the end, she was like, and after Hu Yang kind of was like, he did the thing with he did the thing that He Who Remains said to Sylvie, murderer, liar, like he had to call her out, like like basically like, okay, I get
grow
it.
Up, Sylvie.
Oh yeah, grow
murderer.
Up, right? Yeah. It's kind of what Hu Yang did in a different way. And then like she felt acceptance from Ahsoka. But my fear is like, I don't think we don't now I still think they're gonna revisit that because we don't know why. It sounds like Ahsoka, it sounds like Grogu dodged the bullet, right? Not running with Ahsoka. But then two, like, why did she just leave her like that? Right.
Fam,
go ahead.
Man, listen, we talked about this. This show don't 2 episodes in, it don't do Ahsoka no favors.
It don't do her none.
She's a admiral. It's easy to admire this character because she's so well. Her arc is so well done. She's a very well written character. She's not a likable character. Like she's not like.
You mean all together or this episode or this series?
I would say all together.
Okay.
The episode, just 2 episodes in, it could. Again, things can get better for her.
Because that's one of my things. I do have that. I agree with you. Go ahead. My bad.
We was talking about this because we talked about this off the air.
What I said about Mando.
Yeah, and you was right. And what I'm saying is this show, if we was hoping like, well, maybe after the first 2 episodes, we kind of come away looking different at that. No. She's even more self-absorbed. She make it clear this ain't about Ezra. Like, oh yeah, I do. We can get him back, but it's almost like, damn. And now confirming where the timeline is, it's like, well, goddamn. Were you ever gonna go really look? Were you ever going to go look for Ezra? Is it just because Thrawn, the possibility of capturing Thrawn and Thrawn coming back, and
that's what woke you back up?
That's what got you back in the game. And then you're going to lean in and tell Sabine, listen, this isn't really all just about Ezra. It's like, she's not a likable character, man.
No, she's not.
The performances. Don't get me, like, I want to make sure I want to make sure
go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I explain that. The character's great.
Yeah.
Well written, well developed. And got a storyline that I'm interested in investing in. What I'm saying is, as if like we were in that universe, if this is somebody we actually knew, she's very unlikable,
bro.
Very unlikable.
That's funny. That's funny you say that. We didn't talk about that because that's the first. I say, I wonder if in this season, this was my thought. I don't know if I got it wrote down, but I wonder if we in this season we ever gonna get to a point where we see Ahsoka's humanity. Because that was one of the things that was different about her and Anakin is that they had humanity, right? Through the Clone Wars.
Facts.
They had humanity, right? Even when, like, so they always kind of had that. That's what made them different. Kind of made them a little bit more a problem for the council, right? And they would do things for people, and even when the order didn't want to do it. But this person, and you can trace it. We can go back because, like I said, I don't know if I can go. I think we could. And I was thinking about that. That's funny you say that because I thought about that, and I was like, you could see that in the Mandalorian. But let's keep it a buck. You could probably see it in the last season of the Clone Wars.
Exactly.
Obi was trying to. The only
I had that in my notes. Yeah.
Oh, you had that?
I literally said I said that as I was watching the show. You're right. Because I didn't want to. I was like, because part of me wanted. You're right. Part of me, I didn't mean to cut you, but part of me was saying that because I was like, well, shit, is this Rosario Dawson's? Is this the live action portrayal of Ahsoka that's bringing this on? But then you're right. I thought back like, nah, this was always coming. This was in the last season of Clone Wars. It was in the last. And then you even see it in Tales of the Jedi. We saw this character before. Like this isn't just the live action version.
It's not.
This was.
I'm glad I've been to talk to you about that because I saw that if you go to the Clone Wars and all you got to do is watch the Siege of Mandalore. And Obi trying to talk to her, and this and like she's still holding on to that. The only person she really ain't even about that like is with Rex, right? But like with everybody, and maybe a little bit of Yoda, but like with everybody, like even when she was talking to Bo-Katan, she was stiff. Like she was like, I ain't showing y'all none of this. I gave y'all that before, but then y'all didn't believe me when I left the order. Yeah. So this was coming, right? This was coming. So it's like, so that's back to your thing about if you never watched anything, it's like, why is everybody, if somebody could be watching this right now and be like, yo, why is everybody hyped about Ahsoka? Like she kind of an asshole. She's not because we got her history.
Yeah, we got we see that we saw the art.
But without that, you like, because I would have thought that my whole thing I would have thought walking in is that Sabine left, right? Right, and then Sabine would have been the one we had to warm up to as far as like a person, right? We had to warm up to her character because she was going to be so Ezra about it, right? That she was going to be insufferable, and not to say that she won't become that. That won't be a conflict, and later on in the season probably will.
That's like that's say something about attachment. Huh? She's very much attached
because you seen the face Hera made. When that's the first, I was like, I want to say that I got emotional, but that's when Ahsoka showed up and she was like, I found the key, or I don't know if that was a direct line, but she like, I found the key to where Thrawn is, right? You know, blah blah blah. She was like, that's impossible because Thrawn died. She was like, you know, we never got the body, like we don't really, it's not confirmed. Yeah. And she was like, if Thrawn's alive, does that mean Ezra, you know, like whatever the line, and like Ezra, so it's like, oh shit, like we really going. That's how I felt. Like, we really going there because that just means different. That means something for me. I ain't afraid to admit that. But even when she brought the thing, like, you know, that's to me that felt like Ahsoka's move that she was going to throw Ezra's name out to get the help she needed. Like once they had to go to Sabine, she's like, all right. I'm gonna say she even threw it. I know she threw the line back at her like this ain't all about Ezra, but like it's probably the only way Sabine was gonna help if you say Ezra's name, right? It's like probably could find him, right? We probably could do this and do that. It's Ahsoka that dropped Sabine, which is consistent with why she wouldn't want to. This little baby right here, Grogu needs you, and he force sensitive, and you didn't want to do nothing with it after Mando helped you. Yo, Ahsoka's an asshole.
She ain't playing fair. She ain't playing fair. She's
Mando versus Ahsoka not playing by the rules. Yo, you help me, I help you. Like these are what they call them.
Even that. You help me. Now I changed my mind. I don't want to help you.
Mando, Din Djarin. When Fennec Sand showed up, like looking for some work, and he was like, "Is it for Boba?" Tell him it's on the house. That's how you do it. It's on the house. Yo, you helped me save my son. Fennec, you was boots on ground. I'm not. Come on, this is on the house, and I'm gonna go get you an army, and I'm gonna go get you some troops.
Yeah,
right. You just got this key you looking for because we didn't capture Morgan, but you ain't gonna help me with the child. You gonna. I need a ticket. That's what it was. Do you have a ticket? Because I can't help you. Like you gonna send me to a stone? You're not gonna help me?
Yeah, she did point him in the direction of the stone, but it's like,
yeah, but come on, make it out of here. You just told me where to go.
I just came all the way here, and that ain't equal.
You take those to the stone.
That's not a fair exchange.
Yeah. He one of yours. Look at him. I can't do nothing with him.
You talking to him? I ain't even. You said words to him. I don't
know his name. I ain't know his name. You didn't want me to show up on the planet to give him a shirt, right? Because of attachment. But you won't take him right now? You're not consistent. Make it make sense, Ahsoka.
Yeah. She not a very. No, you're right. No, you're right.
I love Ahsoka. You know I love Ahsoka.
You said it. Yeah,
make it make sense. I like
it too. But
so yeah, that's
you're right.
You watching this show, you like, how do I really like Ahsoka? I like it. I like Hera. I like Sabine. I like them. I don't like
Ahsoka. I like the character. I just don't. She's not likable. So, yeah, I like the performance. We're gonna have to get there,
Filoni.
I love the performance.
From the Star Wars, we're gonna have to get there.
You know what I mean? Though? But think about it. Think about Luke. Think about the characters over the years. Think about young Anakin. Think about Padawan Anakin and Anakin in the Clone Wars. These likable characters, you know, for most people, you know, Obi-Wan, likable character. Like you like Obi-Wan, you like, damn man, yo man, Ahsoka, she got a tiny window of when she was likable. He was
like a legit likable character.
Yeah, you was like, you got past snips, and then you got falsely, you got set up, you got framed, and then since then
you get.
Yeah, she ain't been the same.
Order 66 Ahsoka, you was rooting for the hell for her.
Oh hell yeah! You know, the one that went up against Maul that one time, that first time.
You like we got that, but there's shit around that, right? Like Obi, like damn, I'm just trying to look, man. I gotta go get General Kenobi. I gotta go get Grievous. You talking that noise right now? I ain't got time. I already got to deal with this from Anakin, right? And then Anakin showing up trying to give you the blade. You sitting there like, you know what I mean? You looking ungrateful, right? Like you still holding that. You still holding that, right? So, like you say, I had to think. That's funny you say that because I had to think about that because I was like, damn, so good. We're gonna have to get to the point where her humanity shows again, right? Because that was like a thing about Ahsoka, like to the point where like she didn't want to let Plo Koon die. All of them was ready, like her early Ahsoka.
Right.
Yeah, Plo Koon found her and brought her to the Jedi Order, but like they was out there and she didn't want to give up on them.
She didn't even want to kill the clones. She was surrounded.
And now we get to later. Now we get to the later Ahsoka.
She knew they was gonna die, but she was like, "Hey, one of these clones gonna die because of me."
Golly,
that's a whole.
We like her. We like her.
That was a noble. That was a Jedi. Like it's the thing about being a Jedi. Like she a Jedi without being a Jedi.
She gonna have to come
everything that a Jedi needs to be, but she officially wasn't a Jedi.
Is some of this whole thing Sabine got to go through, and I feel comfortable with doing this because Filoni. Some of this what Sabine got to go through
to show
Ahsoka because of Sabine willing to do it,
and that's why the timeline is important too, right? I'm with you. That's a great point, and that's why the timeline is important because it'd be different if we found out this took place before she met Mando and before she met Grogu. We'd be like, oh man,
shit didn't even matter.
She ain't gonna change.
Yeah.
But now we don't know. You're right. We don't know because we don't know what the future holds. You're right. Seeing this unforced sensitive human Mandalorian go through this whole arc where it's like, damn, you are a Jedi.
Hey, so she's trying to be a Jedi.
Yeah, she's trying to be a Jedi. So yeah, you might be right. It might be the old, I gotta show you, through you, I see what it means to be a Jedi. And this is why I'm a Jedi again.
See the importance of that, like, because that's always going to think
I see why it matters. Yeah.
And then always going against that. And even when she was talking with Ezra and Kanan, but she was like, I can't go into the temple. I mean, I can't open the temple with Kanan because I'm no Jedi. And then she, you know what I mean? Like, it's always been a line. I am no Jedi. That's her line. Like, I seen a shirt I want to get. It's Ahsoka saying I'm no Jedi. And hell, I got the Ahsoka Clone Wars helmet up there, right?
Yeah.
And that's funny, man, because I thought of it. I was like, yo, we gotta retrace the steps. And I went all the way back to the clone. And I went, especially that last season, where like after she was riding around with them girls, and when she came, when Lady Catan came and got her, Lady Kreese came and got her, and you know, Bo was full of that stank, boy. Her attitude, she was
man,
like, y'all ain't gonna help, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I know y'all got all this going on, and it was just Mandalore, but y'all gotta help. And Obi like,
what I got going on? I got direct orders from Yoda. Like,
and I'm the last one you need to say that. You know how I felt about your sister.
Yeah,
like I loved her more than you did. Like you was against her.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Matter of fact, then you killed.
You was part of the team.
You was killing people. Like
you was part of the team that got my girl.
You and Vizsla. Yeah,
you was in Death Watch.
Yeah, get out of here.
I ain't know he's gonna take shots at Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
But
grow up, Bo.
Grow up, Bo. Liar, murderer. We need to get that as a drop. Whenever somebody talking that noise.
We do.
Yeah, but as we go forward, one thing I have to do this. So let's get this out the way. I ain't gonna bring it up no more. Hera was kind of thick. So I gotta say that. Let's get it out the way and we can move on.
Let's acknowledge it.
Let's just get it out the way.
Hera was thick. Hera had the boots on. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Hera was thick. Hera more thick than I could have ever imagined Hera would be, right? Because that was kind of the thing. We even talked about that. I even called that out. Like, I don't know about Hera. I was like, oh no, man. Yeah. I like, you know what I mean? That's E1. Oh, yeah, that's his girl. But man, she came up. She had on a little jumper suit, man, with the boots.
Oh man.
I said, man, what the
She
got a little knot in the back poking out, bro.
Got the camera low. Yo, like, come on, Filoni. Yo, Hera got cake.
She came prepared, B.
Yo, yeah.
I don't know what everybody else. She showed up and was like, "Oh, I'm in shape." Like she was good. Like she was in shape. You know what I mean? She got it
together. I don't know what her rest of it, but she got it together for Hera, man. I just needed to like.
I think she was in that Birds of Prey movie.
I'm gonna say this: Hera was so thick that I had to turn off the closed caption because it was in the way.
Words.
Shit was in the way.
I replayed it a few times. Like, hold on, because it threw me off. I'm like, you know, they be having stand-ins sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but she ain't even doing a stunt right now.
Yeah, she ain't doing no stunts.
Hera was thick, bro.
They always showed her walking into a room, sitting on something. Every time they came, she had to turn around.
Like she was already had the baby. It's like, I might have to pull up Hera, man. Hold on.
That bubble, man. I'm like,
oh man, bro.
Because my first watch, I was like, okay, I know Hera was always motherly, but then like let's not forget she was a pilot and she was a general too. But it was the second episode where they started to let her kind of like show that, you know, not only am because at first it was like, I'm like, damn. Then I watched, because I really rewatched the last episode of Kanan, because I like that scene when Sabine cut her hair and what she did with the knife. Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to see was the music the same, and it wasn't. But what she did with the knife was the same thing that Kanan did. How she kind of like did the move like this, you know, whatever. And she took the knife. Now she did it like twice. I think Kanan just did it once. But it was like, now she wasn't in the room when Kanan did that. But I just wanted to, like, you know, I wanted, you know, if it's poetry, it rhymes. So I wanted to see if like how much did it rhyme, because I like that looked familiar. Yeah. But in that even in that episode, like not that, but probably some of the surrounding episodes, I think I watched another one. She always, like, Kanan would be saying some shit on some Jedi stuff about Ezra or vice versa, and she would mother them down, like, I know you feel this way. Or even when Kanan was trying to train Sabine, and he wouldn't have did it. He was kind of like being Jedi Master and not being like Kanan for her, right?
Right.
He had to switch it up so that she would open up. I say all that to say, I was like, oh, they making her way too right. I know she was motherly, but I had to remember in Rebels she was motherly like that. She was space mom, but then she got her pilot work and everything in the second episode and all that. But I had to get that out. I'm gonna try not to bring it up on every episode.
Right.
But goodness gracious, she was thicker than I thought she was gonna be.
Incredible, man. One thing you always worry about with these shows, and especially when they do a live action, whether it be Bail or a Bo-Katan or somebody like that, and Bo-Katan, they perfect with her. One thing you always look for is, does this character feel like she lived in the other universe?
Mm-hmm.
Does the live action character sound like she lived in the animated universe?
Mm-hmm.
I got that right away from her, and I didn't think I was gonna get that. Even when I first saw her on screen, I'm like, I don't know. But then the way she was like bringing up Ezra, the way she was talking to the other characters, Sabine mostly, and Ahsoka, you felt right away like, okay, that's Hera. You know what I mean? Like she sounded like she lived in those times during Rebels.
I bet that's Filoni, bro. I bet that's
Filoni.
I'm sure they do their due diligence and whatever kind of research they need to do, but whatever. But like Filoni, and you can listen to him, like, and I'm not taking away from their talent because you got to pull that off. Because I totally agree with you, because like we could kind of go from this and then look at Obi-Wan. Those Inquisitors, you could tell they never paid attention to their counterparts, and their counterparts were in Rebels. All they had to do was watch. They had to watch a bunch of episodes. They could just watch a couple. You had to watch the whole series. Like to do Hera, you probably got to watch at least a season, if not the entire series. To do Sabine, you got to watch at least a season, if not the entire series. To do the Inquisitors, you're gonna do a couple, and they was nothing like their
counterpart.
Like the Grand Inquisitor was like a 180.
Oh man,
he was a 180 difference than the guy he was in Rebels. Mm-hmm. It's the exact guy, the third brother. 180 degrees, and it's the exact guy, right? Just earlier versions of them was an Obi, whereas this one, and I bet you, I guarantee you, on top of the stuff that they did, that Filoni was able to explain it to him in a way, because those like you say, her and Sabine, but Ryder showed up. Ryder was in, he was in Rebels. Sabine and what's her name? It wasn't like those actresses, those actors weren't in. They're different people. But like you say, not once did I ever feel
that's true about Bo too. You're right. Yeah, the voice does.
Bo was she was in there. She did.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
But not once that I was like you say, immediately, because I had my reservations. But once they went into home one and we're talking, right? And then honestly, it probably was when the hologram showed up, and I thought about how many times when they was away that Kanan and Hera would have a hologram conversation, especially like season 3 and season 4. They would have a lot of hologram conversations because they would be doing different things, right? And especially when they did that kind of like arc where they was on Mandalore, Hera wasn't there, and they would do a lot of hologram. But like I was like, oh, that's Hera. That's Hera. I ain't even tripping.
Yeah, it was her.
Yeah, and then when she started talking to Chop, when her and Chop had they back and forth, hey yo, Chop had me dying, man. Like I was laughing, B.
Is it me or all right? So I know Dave Filoni is Chop.
I know what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Fam, I can understand everything Chop was saying. I was like, damn. Chop talking. That ain't, hey, look, R2D2, that's binary.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you got to know how to speak that shit, right?
Yeah.
That's binary. Like Luke can understand it, you know, like
BB1. BB1 and what's
Obi-Wan
the one?
And all
BB8.
Not BB8. They can understand it.
Ray, they can understand that binary.
Man, Chop talking.
Chop was talking.
Chop
I think
was
that's on purpose too. I think that's on purpose too.
I don't think they're trying to. He not speaking binary. He's speaking Chop talking, man.
You made me think Chop like when we watched Rebels was Chop talking then? Yeah, that's Dave.
That's why I had to go back. Like, damn, has Chop always been talking?
You been in my compartments, like that's what Filoni doing.
Like, did you lose on? Did you? Yeah, I got it. Like, man, I understand everything Chop's saying. Man.
Chop talking about just shoot it down.
Just shoot it down. I'm like, man, Chop. Yo, man, Chop was talking directly to Hera, bro. I'm like, okay,
Chop was talking.
Y'all ain't even gonna try to hide it, you know?
Yeah, like maybe in the cartoon it was like way more muffled. It was like, look, we gonna do it, but like we ain't gonna even You go under because I understood Chop.
See, now you got me. Now I got to ask about everybody now. So, what about Sabine?
That felt like
I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest. I like Sabine, but I didn't hear It took a little bit longer for her.
Oh, for real?
Like, yeah, because how like she was kind of like Sabine is. Don't get me wrong, she did by the time we got to the end of those 2 episodes, I was like, oh, that's Sabine. But at first, this whole like insolent, it's a big day for you, Sabine. She on her little speeder and she going up.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of like, all right, man, come on, man. Sabine ain't always like a bratty teenager. You know what I mean?
Sabine was never that.
She was never that. So it was
actually would have been more like Ezra. You can see Ezra doing what she did.
More Ezra would do some shit like that. Like, it's my mission. Sabine would be more like.
That's a good call. That's a good point.
Yeah, Sabine would be like, come on. Hey,
she would I got headstrong, but like put the helmet on and let's go do it. Right.
Yeah.
She was gonna throw the. It's like they had the episodes where she was trying to figure out who we got to get in that about Ahsoka. Because Ahsoka seemed like she with the New Republic now. Like she back being Fulcrum. Like she back boots on the ground, right? Maybe that was just I don't now I'm saying that she might not be fully Fulcrum. That's just what Hera still calls her. Because Hera was the only one that knew her in the beginning. In season 1. Her and Fulcrum had a relationship, right? Nobody else knew Sabine, but my point, Sabine was like, yo, you keep sending us doing these different things. I need to be able to trust y'all. Like I trusted everybody, and I was in the Empire Academy. I need to be able to trust y'all. So she was headstrong, but she wasn't bratty headstrong. She was like, I'm stubborn. Yes, I'm stubborn. I'm Mandalorian. If I need to find out something, I'm gonna go find it out. I'm not gonna wallow.
Yeah.
Now we do got the fact that how long she been sitting on the Ezra thing, like Ezra pause. How long she been dealing with Ezra being gone and that probably being a rift between her and Ahsoka. I kind of wish they would have gave us that already. I didn't want that to. I have a feeling that's gonna linger some way, some shape or form. Like it's gonna rear its ugly head again. Yeah. Then to your point,
I got a question about this, but go ahead.
Go ahead. I just don't think.
No.
You're right about. I agree with you about Ahsoka. Like in her beginning, she wasn't like that. Yeah. Only thing I can give them is because of the Ezra thing that she way more in her feelings about. Another thing they did. Go ahead, because I got a point I got to make. We talked about earlier, but Filoni deaded the relationship.
Which one?
The potential relationship between Ezra.
Damn, didn't he? He deaded it. He deaded it like it was personal. Because he was like,
y'all shut up.
They brothers and sisters.
You like a brother sister. You wasn't real family, but you like my sister.
Come on, fam.
He killed them being a ship.
Come on, fam.
Filoni not playing, man.
Filoni, come on, though, B. Come on, man. You telling me she going that hard for her bro?
Yeah, bro at that.
And he had it, and as he had a crush on her the whole time, B. Like, come on, man.
He wanted those.
As he wanted those, man. As he always wanted to get at her like that. So as he wasn't looking at her like, you're my sister. No, she might.
Filoni.
But I'm still holding out. I'm still holding the ship.
Yeah,
I'm still holding out hope for the ship.
Yeah.
Because I'm still holding out for when that reunion happened. Are we gonna be on this bro and little big sis energy? Like, are we still gonna have all that? I don't think we're gonna have that. I think it's gonna be
you was a little sis, but
yeah.
Because he wanted though. He probably accepted the fact because she denied him at every turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She denied him at every turn. So he's like, you know what? We here. You always got my back. I ain't gonna never, you got mine, I got yours. We actually doing hella side missions. We cool. You little sis or you big sis. But they could meet up and be like, all that shit changed.
Man, all that shit about to change. They two adults. He 10 years older. By the time Ezra got to that last mission, Ezra was damn near a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Like, he was mature as hell compared to when we first meet him. Like, he was he had everything figured out. Like, that whole mission figured out. He just made that last. And he made a sacrifice.
He made a hologram. He made a message because he knew it was going to happen. 2 messages. We found out it was 2 because he gave her a one for herself. We didn't get that brother thing when we was in Rebels. That was just for her.
Yeah, for Filoni to not follow up on that, man, that would boggle my mind. Like, come on, man. It's not like it's nothing there. Like, I get this whole you were like a brother to me, you were like a sister to me thing, but bro, I can't believe that Ezra was thinking that way. When Ezra see her 10 years later, oh, and you kept your promise, and they ain't gonna embrace his brother and sister, man. I got him, man. I'm still holding that shit, B. I think he put that in there to throw you off. I think deep down they gonna end up together. That's my guess. That's my guess. But let me segue off of that and ask you this question. Because now we can ask. Because now it's all there. It's all laid out in the first 2 episodes. We know the answer. We know that when this take place. So I gotta ask you, the number one Rebels fan on this channel, and the Rebel experts that you are, being somebody I felt like who understand that last scene with the mural. Now seeing it now in live action, and now with the added context of the moments that led up to that, does it take away a little bit from that finale, the original finale? Does it take away a little bit now seeing it in live action and knowing the context of how and why, what led to that moment?
I'm gonna use one of your lines, or paraphrase one of your lines. It don't change that in my mind. That's where how I feel every time I watch it. It don't change that, right? I didn't even think about that till you said that, but it don't. But I feel with conviction that when I watch that, that's a moment in time, especially since like even some of the colors are changed and all this and all that, right? Like she's not wearing the same color, meaning Ahsoka, she don't got the staff. Like
I know
it's a little different, so it don't hit like that one did. It fills in some blanks, but what we saw, I feel like what we saw at the end of Rebels is from Sabine's point of view. What we saw on Ahsoka was from Ahsoka. So even that whole mural and that point and all this and all that, that's how Ahsoka's seeing it. Because that mural meant something for Sabine. That scene. Ezra's out there. We're gonna find him. Got chills right now, right? That's Sabine, and that's how that even the character in Ahsoka's show still feels that. I believe we both on the same page. I don't feel Ahsoka feels that with a mean ass. She don't feel that, and I feel like that's more of an Ahsoka view of it. That's how my head canon work. That's Ahsoka's. You got 2 views.
Yeah.
In the Rebels is Sabine's. This right here is how Ahsoka walking up on that. That's Ahsoka seeing it happen.
Damn.
Where Sabine noticed Ahsoka was mine.
Wow.
So that's how I'm gonna stay with that one. Because it could. I didn't think about that. Maybe I think about that more. But like, man, they fucked it up, right? And I just watched it. Obviously I watched it again, right? Because you just look at. Obviously, I could see the differences easily. It's something I wanted to see. I was trying to like match something up, just in terms of like between both scenes. But I feel like one is just one point of view and another one.
That's an interesting way to put it. I didn't think about that until now. That's interesting. Right? That's a good point.
It definitely didn't affect it when I watched it yesterday. Because you're right, I didn't feel anything for this one because I feel like that's so good.
Man, that's an interesting observation right there. I didn't really think about that. That's a good point. Because you're right. It didn't have the same resonance of emotion. Like it just feels like a scene. Like it's live action and it's filmed and it plays out and it's similar, but it's way, way more of a, like you said, you feel emotional. You feel like it's a way more of a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
Tug at the heartstrings.
Because it was it.
Animated version.
It was it.
You like, damn. And it's even seeing Ahsoka show up was more dope with the staff and like,
oh man,
I'm ready.
I got chills now, bro. So that's proof right now that the Ahsoka version don't change how I feel about the Rebels version.
Yeah, and
there's so much that went into that just to get to that last scene. It's 4 seasons,
and I like the idea, and just where Filoni is like. Filoni's, in my opinion, Filoni's always gonna be. I don't want to, because it's gonna sound like I'm hating. Because I like his live action debut so far. I like it for the most part. I like it a lot. Like I said, I got a little nitpicks and stuff.
Yeah,
and little nitpicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they got to figure out something about this what a lightsaber is. Be like, you can't. That's a nitpick. I can nitpick that later. But I don't want to sound like I'm sunning Filoni, but I always feel like he's gonna do animated better than he live action. Maybe that might change. He might end up. He's still a young guy. I think he's like in his 40s, maybe early 50s. He might go on to become one of the like best filmmakers out there. He still could. He might change the game. Like he might integrate the two elements to the point where he might be like another George Lucas. We don't know. I'm just saying.
He's the only one that's been able to like is he? Now I'm saying the only one, but like he's been able to storytell integrating them both. Right?
Yeah.
It was like you would hope that other people could do that. Like
he might do that.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you could have Clone War characters show up in live action and vice versa. And it's all the same. And it's part of the story. It's part of the story. It's not some extended universe.
In the animated version, she didn't have to say anything, right? She didn't because in the live action version, she was like, "I'm ready," and I just that little part just took away from it for me. Like not taken away from the live from the animated, not from the live action version, but it just was like no, like. He already accomplished. I just like what he accomplished more in the animated. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like
it's way better. It doesn't even compare.
They don't even have to say anything. They just look at each other and just like you know what it means.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. We got to get this guy. We got to get this here. I'm ready. It's like
then the Padawan at the end. It was like like. And it's a cheat code because the Rebels one has the Force theme.
Oh yeah, it does.
So you end the shit with the Force theme into the Star Wars music right after that. Like chills all fucking day. Like you can't like. I just in my mind I keep saying it, but it's just two different. This is Ahsoka's mean ass version
now
of it.
Now that you say that, yeah. Now that you broke that down, now I see. That's how I see it now. Like now it makes sense because it's like you're right, man. Like it's her stoic, take all emotions out of it. You know, you're right, man. Like her humanity, bro. It's like she's just the mission now. Like she's not. I gotta stop Thrawn.
She been alone, man. Like Ahsoka ain't been around nobody. Like she ain't been like Ahsoka. Like even in Rebels, like she was. Cause you had to tell me, man. Like Ahsoka she was in the show, but she wasn't really in. Like Rex was with him, right? Rex was with him.
That was a
day
team.
in and day out. Yeah. A lot of the stuff they got. A lot of stuff they were able to get, bases, ships, weapons, it's because of Rex. Because he had he was locked in still. And he was able to, once he was able to show back, he wasn't locked in still. He had old connects. And then once he got back in the fight, he was able to really lock in. We can go to this. We got this base over here. Here's a medical supply situation over here. They ran up on the old separatist plot over here with the droids and everything. They got a new ship. Right. Rex was with him. He was on bases. He was living with him, right? When they was fighting the spiders, guess who was there? Rex. Ahsoka, like, she had them two Jedi, Kanan and Ezra, really holding it down for the Jedi, right? And she was kind of there, showed up. When they went to Malachor, she was with it. But like when they was fighting them Inquisitors, and she wiped out two of them with ease. Like they needed you to fight those. You only fought the one time, and then when you showed up, like you was Dave's brother helicoptering away, like you was smashed. Like she was about to mop my man up. Like they could have used you, right? But you wasn't really around. Like you didn't get attached again, right? You was always about the mission. Show, man. She was mission. She was mission specific, and she's still that way. But she's spending way more years alone. I wonder if Filoni gonna really delve into that, right? Because it was real. Again, loved it. It was perfect for me. But it was Star Wars starring Ahsoka versus Star Wars Ahsoka, right? Meaning like
you talking about Rebels?
No, this show.
Oh, you're talking about the
first
show.
2 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we got to find out about Ahsoka.
Like,
obviously where she's going, but let me change that. Let me change that because this is where we always get into the trap, or I always get into the trap. And like, well, they didn't answer the question in the show. what they was really trying to tell. So let me say that better.
Yeah.
I'll pose it as a question, maybe not for you to answer, but I'll just put it out in the air. Is this us finding out about Ahsoka, or is this about a mission, the show, right? Meaning like there's a lot that's happened there's a lot of time that it went past, right? Right. So we doing the filling in the blank now, right? This ain't like a Star Wars movie, and then they go back and fill in the blank, right? Like I'm not expecting to see this series and then a Star Wars, then a Ahsoka cartoon right? That fills in these 10 years what didn't happen to her since Ezra pulled her out. Because basically we looking at it when Ezra pulled her out of the World Between Worlds, and she helped him fight off Palpatine, right? Up until she showed up in the epilogue, because now we know the time. That's 10 years. When she showed up at the end of the epilogue, what did you do in between that time?
That's a good point. Yeah.
And what the hell is your bird? Yo, where the Hulk at? Or was it an owl? Where the owl at? But yeah, all jokes aside, like what happened? Because you are way more in a silo, and you detach from everybody. The attachments only mean something to you. And would you give my man Luke bad advice with the attachment shit? Is the Last Jedi your fault? Is it your fault?
It's starting to seem like it. Because he looked like he took on some of your characteristics. But here's another.
You're the only one he can talk to.
Let me get into the Theory Expo real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Throw a curveball at you. Like we in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for the heat. I'm looking for the fastball, four-seamer.
Try to get you out of there. So this is what I always wondered about Ahsoka, man. And it's almost like, is Ahsoka like a character out of time? Like, because he pulled her out of there, man. She's technically supposed to die.
Yeah, she's not supposed to.
She's not. As far as the live action trilogy go or any prequels, she's not there. They don't mention her in Rogue One. She's not in Solo. She's not. We know she ain't nowhere near the original trilogy. It ain't. And George Lucas, he had all these years. He done added all McClunky and all this stuff. He done added all this stuff. He ain't added nothing about Ahsoka.
Han shot first, all that.
Yeah. So I always wonder, like, and I'm saying this as just a super, left wing. I'm gonna say left wing, a super Hail Mary out of this world theory is like, is she like out of time? Like, is she like displaced? Is she not supposed to be here in that 10-year stretch? Is that her trying to find purpose in a universe that she's not supposed to exist in? You get what I'm saying with that? Like,
I told you said that before.
I did. I think I did. Yeah.
About Ezra. I said about when he ran up on Obi. He's like, you really not supposed to be here.
Right. And I'm saying with her, it's like, was she supposed to die? Because think about it. When he pulled her out, we didn't see her again until that finale, right?
Maybe we saw her. Yeah, we didn't see her again until the finale. When he pulled her out, it might have been it was in last season, and it was like probably about 4 more episodes left, and then we saw her in the finale. We didn't see her in nothing else.
We don't see. Okay, so let's say that. So go back to that time when you wrapped up Rebels. You didn't see Ahsoka again until they brought
until 10 years later. Now we know it's 10 years later.
Now we don't see her continue on until 10 years later. My thing is, if we had never, it don't change anything, right? Like whether let's say they never did he never pulled her out, and then her fate was unknown. Let's say Vader just, the door, the pyramid closed, Vader, she was in there with Vader. He never pulls her out. It don't change anything in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Until we get to
impact anything else.
She didn't impact anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had no bearing on the original trilogy. Maybe she did behind the scenes. Maybe I think it's a book out there. Maybe she helped him out as Fulcrum. I'm not ruling that out. But this is a theory, but I'm just like, I wonder if, like, what if that's a factor? Is like she is her living this last 10 years. Like, I ain't even really supposed to be here. What is my purpose?
What if we looking at this theory? No, we Theory Expo now. What if we looking at this background we got, the World Between Worlds, is leading her to get back to that point. Like, it's not a place I'm supposed to be. And then, like, I'm just gonna go walk back through that door. I really ain't supposed to be here. Because literally nothing she's done, nothing she did
matters.
From between the time she got, the time with her fight with the Twilight of the Apprentice until she showed up, right? Because we don't know what happens in the Mandoverse. Until she showed up in the Mandoverse matters. Meaning, like, whether she here or not, like the Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
Whether she here or not, it don't matter. Meaning, everything still happens the same way.
Luke fights Vader. Luke loses, all that stuff. The Emperor dies. Like, none of that had anything to do with her.
None of that had to do with her.
Yeah,
this is a place she probably, like you said,
that would be a dope ass ending, though, bro. If she went back and was like,
purpose. Yeah, like this.
Y'all don't need me. Oh man, that'd be dope.
He wasn't supposed to pull me out. Like I'm here, but like when you look at it from a standpoint of but to your point, like she could have, like, because we always talk, we joke, but then it's real too. Like, yo, where was you at? You knew, and not only did you know, like you knew who Vader was. You fought him, right? You only a few people that like fought him and was able to walk away. It's only two, right? You and Obi, and obviously with Luke, but like before Luke, right? You know, Obi walked away. Well, no, I'm lying. Obi walked away. You really died.
Yeah, you didn't walk away. You got pulled out.
You really died. But you one of the ones that know Vader. You know who Vader. You know Anakin. Like you was his Padawan, and you didn't show up at all. So it's like we always do. Like, hey man, what was you doing during the big fight? What was the big game? The big game, you wasn't there. She literally could have been spending that time trying to find herself again. Like, for real, like, where do I fit in it? Because I ain't supposed to be here.
I ain't supposed to be here.
Like, I'm talking to them, like, and like from a force level.
She got to be
beyond just like, beyond the human or regular level, like just dealing with the force, like the force. I'm not even really connecting with the force like I used to, right? Because I ain't supposed to, the force, I'm not supposed to be here.
And you know, the force would tell her that. Like, you know, the force is that's going to have the force is going to push back. Like, you ain't even supposed to be in it. You got pulled out. You ain't really supposed to be here, though. Like, an event got changed. You were supposed to die at this time. So, yeah, you literally exist in the force where you probably shouldn't exist. What effect is that having on Ahsoka? You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder if that's going to be acknowledged. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. Because I think Filoni really like Ahsoka and he really want her to exist. But I just wonder if he would be that bold to like,
well,
examine that.
Look at the like explanation, even like even using that. So if we go back to like why she shouldn't be here, right? Or you shouldn't be here, or you out of place, person out of time. Was like, so then we asked the question. Hey, Ahsoka, where were you at during the big game? And it was really the force, not. This ain't where you're supposed to be. You got a different journey. Like, I want to go be here. I should be there, but now it's the force has been telling her not to be around.
Don't these events got to play out like this. Don't. So yeah, okay. All right, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that maybe the force told her, like,
force telling her that
don't
her connection to force.
You can't have any effect on the events that's about to take place. So you need to stay away. That could make sense. That would be a way to explain
some kind of explanation, like beyond all, like, I was over here and I was in because now we know she wasn't over there. She didn't have a map, right? Like, you're gonna fulfill a greater purpose about what's gonna happen later, like from a force standpoint when it comes to Thrawn and all this and all that. But but we know she wasn't nowhere else. She hadn't found Thrawn. They hadn't been in some outer regions. They hadn't know they can do this or do that. None of that stuff, because they just found it 10 years later. Right, 10 years after, obviously, in the Rebels. So it could be like a way, like without being too intricate about, like, you need to give us an explanation, you need to tell us this, you need to tell us that. It's really just like, that wasn't my path. My path through the force was not to,
because it wasn't like the stakes wasn't high, man. Like, it was two Death Stars.
Like, it was two of them things.
You know, Empire was winning there for a minute.
Yes,
you know, they scored a major victory. Yeah, that could, because we can't. You're right, man. We can't bail her out now and be like, oh, that's right. He was looking for Ezra. He was on the other side. He was in another galaxy. No, she wasn't. She was chilling. Like, so yeah, I wonder if Filoni's gonna. That would be. I like your idea better. Like what you say, and let's the force tell her, like, don't interfere in what's going on.
Because then it's like, forget Sabine being mad. Like, here, like, shit. Me and Chop was in the Gulf. We was at Scarif. Hold on, let me run down where I've been. I fought the Battle of Toil. Man. I was at Scarif because I was on Yavin 4. I was at Scarif. The ship is in the fight and it's in Rogue One. Like, it's at Yavin 4, right?
Yep, it is.
So I was at Scarif. And we don't know where she was at with the first Death Star, but we know she was there at the second Death Star.
She was in the scopes too, you know.
So she was always there. Like, we was doing all that. What was you? Like Like, so it could have been like, but you know, her understand that Jedi stuff. That's what she says. It's never a straight line with you Jedi, right? Like, yeah, the Force didn't have me there, and that could be how Filoni explained it way better, right? But like, to be that simple.
I just wonder if we early on this one,
because you're right. Like, she really is a person that's not supposed to be there. She out of time.
If Filoni wanted to explain why she wasn't in the big events, he could have clipped her character right there. Everything that follows after that, literally, I'm talking about that literally got released was prequel. Yeah, that was a prequel basically. You know, the last season of the Clone Wars, Tales of the Jedi, and then you know he threw in the Mando. You know, he brought her back in the Mando, but when you see her, the reassurance was her showing up in the last episode of Rebels.
Yes,
that's when you was like, oh. Your story continues on.
Yes.
But he didn't have to do that though.
No.
You know what I mean? He could have not did that. He could have still explained the world between worlds without him pulling her out. And you know, he could have all that Ezra being tempted by the Emperor, showing it, you know, his family and all that. We could have understood the importance of the world between worlds without bringing Ahsoka back, and it would have made sense. It would have literally lined up with George Lucas' story. Like, okay, that's why you didn't help in the trilogy, because you were dead. But even here, it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, that might have been the Force holding her back. Like, yeah, you ain't really supposed to be in time. Like, you're not supposed to exist in this timeline. So don't. And Obi-Wan, like you said, Obi-Wan even said that to Ezra. Like,
you the one that brought it deeper though, because on the face it's like you ain't supposed to be here. Like, get off Tatooine. But it's like, no, the Force, like you ain't supposed to be here, dog.
You ain't even supposed to be here, bro.
He knew his name and everything. Like, I keep tabs on all this. Ezra Bridger is not supposed to be anywhere around, and you bring in too much. Don't worry about Maul.
The living Force.
Too much. They threw the line of time and space out, right?
They did, man.
They threw that out.
There, I meant to. That was a note. Yes.
Yeah.
They said that.
They said time. He reaching out to me from time and space. That just. Oh man, that changes. But they put a lot out there, right?
Man, now you got me. You said something though. You said something, B. Now because now you say that, but I'm going back to all. I remember that now. You brought that up because I kind of forgot about the time and space line. They did say that, but also now I'm thinking like her awareness of her getting pulled out, man, and could she go back to that and be like, "Went back in." All right, I completed my mission here. Now I gotta face it. You know what I mean? Like I wonder, man. I wonder, like, but you're right. He reaching across from time and space. Now we gotta ask, because now I gotta ask questions like, is when Ezra do get pulled back, and even though I think we both agree, we don't think it's gonna happen early. It's not gonna happen early. It's probably not gonna happen like this season. Yeah. Like maybe the last episode, but
they say MacGuffin. It might be the MacGuffin of the season.
It might be the MacGuffin. But if he does get pulled back, is he the same Ezra, or is he scruffy beard, long hair Ezra, 10 years older, almost 30 now? Or is he kid Ezra? Time and space, man. It's like, why would they say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you can just easily just say, yeah, I mean, he been out there so long. We got to get him. No, he reaching across from through time and space. Damn. For him, is it still Pergil? Is he like, you know what I mean? Is he reaching to them 10 years into the future? He's still in that moment where he just got blasted into the other side of the galaxy. Like, is he still that kid with the haircut and the
bud, like literally like in the hologram? Is he exactly like that? Or are you pulling him? Because now we talking about, like you say, time and space. When you say time and space, that does.
Now I gotta get that line. I gotta know that exact line now. Damn.
Because now we're talking about potentially points in time. Right, we're talking. We might be on we're going to, or where we're at takes us to a pivot point, right? And we're an access point, and we're saving them from an access point. Similar is poetry, just like in rhyme, how we saved Ahsoka. So we're pulling him from the point. What are we pulling him from the point he got pulled, as opposed to a point where he's actually just in some, because for us in the beginning, it was like he's in the unknown regions, right? But they not saying that. Matter of fact, even Balin was like the pathway to Peridia. Like, those are fairy tale stories for us. You know, they're not really believing her. Like, she talking about those are dreams you having. Like, you want us to go through all this for dreams you having? She's like, no, Thrawn reaching out to through time and space.
Yeah, that's she was talking about Thrawn. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for us, it's Thrawn equals Ezra.
Thrawn was with Ezra. Yeah,
it's one and the same.
They went to the same place. Yeah.
So yeah, like say, Morgan believes Thrawn is calling to her across time and space, possibly hinting at a connection to the world between worlds. Balin promises power upon locating Thrawn, creating doubt in Shin, because Shin not believing none of that.
Oh man,
she not even believing in that witchcraft. She looking at her with that Dathomir stuff like, oh, you about to get it. You about to get it. Oh, you a witch.
That did catch you.
I'm a survivor. Yeah, so I don't, man. I so don't know what to think about that, because I don't even know how. I feel like, okay, so let's just say this. Let me say this. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen. We pull in an Ezra, but he's not the Ezra. So I think similar to your scruffy, he's not the. I'm not the one. I watched this. I finished watching. I watched again. I watched an arc of Avengers Assemble, right? So there's an arc where it wasn't beyond. It was Loki. I think Loki did the trick, but ultimately he pulls them through time and space, right? Literally pulls all the Avengers through time. He gets to his new cabal together, pulls them through time and space. So, Black Widow and Captain America over here somewhere. They already had lost Tony, and then Hulk is over here somewhere, separated from him and Scourge is hunting them, and Black Panther trying to find him, this and the third. But what's her name? Falcon got sent into the future, right? Because Kang got him, because Kang's world was about there. So Kang got him. Long story short, not to spoil it or whatever for anybody that may potentially watch that. When they went and got him, he wasn't the same. He was older. They had to keep telling him, I was a kid when I left, even though it's just like a couple of days, like a week or a couple of days for y'all. I'm in the future. Like, I've been there building this. Like, I'm stopped. He was. That was like, it became our drop we need to be. Shut up, Sylvie, liar, murderer. Because he kept saying it. It became like a point where it's like, okay, God, okay, we get it. But but when they had to, and they pulled him back, but they didn't pull back the same foul because he was older. He was much older. He ended up having the suit he had in the Infinity, Avengers, and the ones we see the movies. He had the old suit on, the Red Wing kind of like comic suit.
Nice.
And then when they went and got him, he had his suit that we see, the Sam Wilson, the Anthony Mackie version.
The shades and all
that. Yeah. And then with the goggles and all that. So at the end of the day, same color and everything. So at the end, my point is with this, I see it being similar to something like that. Like the person they get back, whether it's through natural, just years, and if it's not really a time and space thing, like a world between worlds thing, it's really just another galaxy, right? But that almost looked like they was going through the whole nother universe. Like this was a multiverse thing versus it being the galaxy. Like
definitely another galaxy, but it looked
definitely another galaxy. But they had the way they were talking and the way they felt about it. Like that's like a fairy tale. Like we talking about a whole nother universe. But I digress. I'm not gonna go there. But that's what it felt like. I just don't want my mind to go there yet.
I'm with you, man. That's what it felt like. Listen, we tried to dead this, man. We tried to move on, bro.
Even though we did make a video saying Ezra's the
somebody show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
I believe y'all. Y'all, we got all hyped up on this. Oh man, it's gonna happen, man. Grogu gonna do this, and then none of that shit happened. We moved on. You, Filoni, brought up time and space, not us. Nobody even theorized that. Not that I watched. I don't know. Maybe I didn't watch a bunch of Ahsoka theory videos, but man, nobody really was. That wasn't a major theory coming out where people was like, "Hey, reaching across time and space." Yeah. I mean, people knew that the world, that could play but man, when you say that, it's like, damn, you saying that because that's what Filoni showed us, and they said it. So it's like, I always had this thing like, man, I can make a case for Star Wars having a multiverse. I don't think they do, but this seems like another universe. seems like another universe, like where I don't know. I'm with you because I saw the same thing, and I'm like, that's like beyond the fringes of the galaxy. That's another.
Because they went past what they usually always say, unknown regions, right? They was solely something else, right?
And that's like we haven't seen that in Star Wars before, right? We haven't seen another galaxy. What's the opening line? Galaxy far, far. Like, yeah, it's always taking place in one galaxy, a huge galaxy with a lot of planets in it, a lot of systems, but it is one galaxy. And you got the unknown regions and all that. And that's where, like, the Chiss and all them people come from, like all them different species come from.
Get that like Thrawn's people, right?
Yeah, the Chiss is in the books they called it the Chiss Ascendancy. Okay. Like they had their own empire basically. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm making is we never really went to another galaxy. So this is a first, no matter what, no matter how you look at it.
Them episodes did make the galaxy bigger, right? They definitely did do that. Like they expanded the galaxy, even the places that we went. One thing I didn't catch in the first season, first watch I did, this second episode, when Baleen looked up and the Pergil was going across. Like I missed that on my first watch.
I missed that.
I missed that. Beginning of episode 2, second episode, beginning of the second episode. So when they first she put the space mat down, and then like she used her magic, and then the green little Dathomirian. I keep saying that. What was the Night Sister magic? I've been saying it wrong the entire time, even though they're from that. The Night Sister magic, the green such and such. I mean, that mirroring magic come up, and then like he tell her like you need to go to what he tell her? He told us make sure that the Inquisitor dude go to Corellia, make sure everything is good. And he looks up.
What's his name again?
Merrick.
Yeah, it's like start with an
M. Yeah, Merrick. You look up and you can hear the sounds, and then the Pergil sounds, and then you can see the Pergil flying across the top. Yeah, it's quite dope. You need to watch that part again.
Filoni, bro. Hey, Filoni put his foot in this one.
He put his entire foot in that one, didn't he?
Man, boy, he did not. This is his spin on it, man, and it's dope. Let me go back. I'm gonna ask you something that's not as like not as big as what Paul's like what we were just talking about, but let me ask you about that was crazy. That line that she dropped, right? I'm a survivor. You think she was there when Grievous slaughtered when he
she
slaughtered all them night?
Yeah, I think Filoni gonna tell that.
Because she made sure she said that. Like she corrected her, like I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
Which means I think she was young and she never really became an official Night Sister. Because he killed them all. Because Grievous, murked them all. So I think that's what she was saying. Like, yeah, I'm from there, but I'm not really that. I'm something else. But yeah, that is my lineage. Is not the Night Sisters because they were gone.
Yeah,
even though old girl she a Night Sister. She got work, you know what I mean? But this chick seemed like she a little bit too, she younger.
Look at the time because this last survivor, last Jedi around Obi-Wan to Kenobi time. So that's 10 years after.
Yeah.
10 years after Order 66.
Yeah.
So we still got another 9 before New Hope. So we at least 19 years away from this. So and that she would be older, probably older than Morgan if Aaron was alive.
If you because you gotta think like she already in like her maybe mid to late 20s and just in the first game, and then by the time we get to Survivor, she like in her 30s. Survivor, then another 10 years later, it can add up. But I just thought that was an interesting line though when she said I'm a survivor.
Go to your line about the sabers though. So you said you had something to say about the lightsabers. Because what happened in the first episode.
Just my nitpicking, man. Just my nitpicking. Okay. So they got it. All right. So this is what they've done now. I've noticed. It used to be, and this is what this is, and I hate to again, I'm not Son of Filoni, and I'm not Paul's over slurping. I'm not slurping George just to do, pause and shit, pause. But what I'm saying is George and they even explain this with Dooku. Dooku, why do Dooku cut off Anakin's? Why did he cut off his arm? Why did Darth Vader then do the same to Luke? When you do that, that's when two people dueling with lightsabers. that's a way to showing you basically like, man, you can't fuck with me.
you
can't fuck with me,
bro.
Okay. I'm about to disarm you. This fight is over. I decide when the fight is over, right? So got you. You know, you can't even hold your lightsaber no more. I took that away from you. You know, he did that to Obi-Wan too. He hit him in the arm with the, you know what I mean? Obi sat him down. Then he took, you know, Anakin was, you know, he was bucking too hard, so he just took his own arm off.
Like, you need to chill.
You need to sit your little young ass down. You know what I mean? And he hit him with Force lightning, just to, you know what I mean. Same thing with Luke. When Luke started getting out of control, when Vader swung and Luke ducked and came back up and hit him in the arm, he said, that was the end. He was like, all right, it's enough. It's the end of the fight now. I'm going to disarm you now. My point is, they've replaced that with the stab to the abdomen.
Yeah.
It seemed like, you know what I mean? I don't know why they did that. That's not an improvement in my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, I'm nitpicking.
But still.
But that's just
real.
You get what I'm going?
Because it
seems like they've replaced that moment, that little, you know, they've replaced that. I'm gonna disarm you by cutting your arm off or your hand off with, oh no, I'll just stab you in the abdomen. That's the end of the battle. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna stab you. And it's like, fam, that's gotta mean something, bro. Taking a lightsaber to the abdomen, like that's gotta mean something. Especially one thing, if I cut your hand off, you know you can survive that.
Yeah.
But I'm stabbing you in the abdomen with a lightsaber. That's got to mean something.
Especially when, even though, you know, because now it's at the point where they try to like chronicle exactly where the pinpoint was. Well, it wasn't the exact same spot that happened to Qui-Gon. Because like that's what took Qui-Gon out.
Because it seemed like Qui-Gon is what Balon hit the one dude with, and what Han got in Force Awakens.
Yeah,
where it's like it's dead in the middle of your abdomen. Where you're done. You ain't got no chance. That's what Balin hit old boy.
Like organs and everything.
Yeah, vital organs, your heart, your spinal column. Whereas Reva twice for some reason, but it don't add up though, because
Reva the
Anakin was, when Anakin went through that temple, he wasn't leaving. He wasn't trying to leave no survivors. That's at least that's what I was led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what George was going for, is that he's slaughtering everything, younglings included. So again, and then you telling me Darth Vader again did that to Reva again, where it's just, or I'm gonna just stab you in the abdomen again. I'm gonna just shut you down again.
He did her twice.
It don't add up.
He didn't do that to Sarah, because he took Sarah out.
Took her out.
In Survivor. He took her out. Hit her with the he hit her with the
she was coming with the killing blow. He just he didn't disarm her. He didn't say like, all right, got you, I'm gonna walk away. Nah, that went through her abdomen, that killed her.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it don't make sense, man. It's like I don't understand why this is happening. Like I don't understand where this came from. I don't know why they think this is a good idea. That's
even Filoni doing it.
He would have been better off taking like if you could have cut Sabine hand off.
Yeah, she should have lost them. She should have lost the limb.
She should have lost the hand like that.
This hand she holding the saber, that's the hand you take. And she got to do that one move. She got to get the Luke like.
Ow. Ow. That would have been poetry. That would have been a dope scene to see, because she damn near wake up in the same hospital, don't she?
Yeah,
like, it's like all white, and he
same kind of droid.
But this idea that droids, they're like, I'm gonna heal you and give you like fam, shots and stabs to the abdomen gotta mean something in Star Wars. Especially same thing with Fennec Shan. You got blasted by a blast bolt directly that close.
Close range.
Your boy, what's his name? The sheriff.
My boy,
I know.
Marshall Van, Cobb Van.
Cobb Van. He take one of Bane's. Bane ain't got nothing to stun. He don't know nothing about a stun. If he's stunning you, it's just because he was brought in to bring you in dead or alive. You gotta be alive.
Yeah, he was a higher bounty alive. Man,
he was shooting to kill when he shot Cobb, because he shot his boy up bad. Like,
boy ate all that.
Filled him up with all types of,
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what happened, man. Like, I don't know where this came from. I don't know if the order came down like, hey, you can't kill people, you can't cut hands and limbs off anymore. Because this is fam, this is in games now almost. Like for a minute there, that first what was it? The first Jedi, Fallen Order, it wasn't like the lightsaber really wasn't like dismembering people, right? Like he cut some limbs off. But I don't know. I'm going too far. But what I'm saying
no. You're right.
What I meant, what I'm basically saying is like that's got to mean something, man. These shots to the abdomen and like that they starting to just overuse that. I think that's my.
That seems like for a directive, right? A directive to make that happen. It seemed like a way more gruesome way. Like that chop off the arm. It seemed like a little bit better to take than somebody actually stabbing you through your stomach, your abdomen.
It would make sense. It's like
the lightsaber going by coming out, on the other side.
Yeah, like even in The Force Awakens, when Finn, when old boy figured out, like, wait a minute, hold on, chopped him off the back. That was it. He was like, "Hey man, that's the end of the battle, bro. I'm gonna shut you down now, man. You out." He ain't stabbing with the He didn't pierce. You know what I mean? He did that to his pops.
That's a great way to put it. He disarmed him.
Yeah, he just got him out of the battle. Like, all right, man, that's enough for you.
Do this.
Yeah, like, bro, you ain't even supposed to be here. Let me get you up out of there. Like, sit your ass down. Now I'm landing killing blows, but it's not killing. It's like, I don't know. It's just, again, that's the only thing I really walked away with. It was like scratching my head, man. Other than that, bro.
Weird about that too, though. But to add on, what was a little weird about that situation is that we 100% knew this Sabine wasn't dead. So like the impact of doing that.
That's true. Yeah.
We knew Sabine wasn't dead. She and Tommy in the trailer was like, that's a mean bait and switch. If Sabine don't
short
make
hair,
that would have been. Like,
nah,
she would have died. We had some fake marketing out there.
You imagine that? And then the short hair was just a flashback. That would have been like, that would have been the biggest thing ever, boy.
Yeah, we knew Sabine wasn't there. That would have been shocking. That next episode came on. It was like, wait, what?
No, she gone. Huh? This is just a flashback.
He put her body on the thing. They doing the Jedi
funeral. They burning her on she get the pyre? She get the pyre? Or helmet. They put her helmet up there.
They would have had Grogu coming on the side talking about always two there are. No more. No less.
Grogu talked for the first time. Always two. Which one?
The master.
Man, like Grief Kargan.
And that was the title.
There are. Look at it this way, man, though. That would have been wild.
It would have been like, but which one? The master or the apprentice?
That would have been wild, bro.
Yeah, we knew she wasn't.
Nah, we knew she was still there.
So it was like we knew she was coming. Like, man, like you're right. Like now we looking at any situation where it's like something happened to somebody. Like, well, that ain't enough to.
It ain't enough
to kill a non-Force user, because not only did it not work on Force users, it didn't work on somebody who didn't have. Not saying the Force will save you from catching one. It didn't save Qui-Gon, but still, Force on that it won't kill anybody. Like, so we know we're gonna have something with hate because they had it in the trailer, even though I cut the trailer off. But obviously that sounded like him just restating what was said in that Tales of the Jedi episode. Right, so
basically, yeah.
So we just flash back in the Natter train. Like, how does those just words like Force words? Ahsoka like walking around on the ground and she doing the Force. You can hear what some conversations happened, hours ago by just using the Force. Right?
Like, what was that?
She just was like,
"You got Star Tech now? Like, you doing this Iron Man 3? Like, or you just can?"
Ahsoka ain't got no soul.
like how you was just you can hear conversations now. Like, since when was that a power though? I don't know. Did I miss something? I don't know.
Hey, she was doing that. Another thing too that's funny now, because we talking about Ahsoka ain't got no soul. The way she was just like when she was mashing droids in the face, she could not care less. Like, she was doing dope shit and like not making of. She was just like. Man, when she stabbed the one, whop, and then she mushed it back at the Inquisitor like she was using him as a guard, like Ahsoka could. Look, man, look.
And then moved out of the way when he got his blade back. Go ahead, you got it? All right.
She ain't got no feelings, bro.
Nah.
When that blade came back, that let you know, like,
I know I wasn't in danger.
I mean, ash your team. I took out 2 10 years ago. Yeah. No, my bad. 12 years ago. I took out 2 of them. Hey man, I disarmed the one
without a lightsaber that one time.
I ain't had no weapon. Then I took the saber and made my white joints.
Deflated his mask and all that.
Come on, man. I took him out, man. Like he ain't had nothing for this. I does this. So get out of here, man.
So I'm saying, like Balin, like I don't think he understand. Like either he just don't know or he don't care. He's not acknowledging her like it's that, like she that Jedi. Like he just like, don't be ashamed, you know. Got so few Jedi. Like I don't think he know like that
Ahsoka a problem.
It's Ahsoka.
Like this ain't like
a problem.
This ain't even like.
And she's the only apprentice for Anakin. Like you know.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he not walking up on some like somebody who been hiding, somebody like no, Ahsoka probably would take you out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she could.
You're gonna need your apprentice.
You're gonna have to work.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to work.
Unless Morgan tell her something like, Morgan be like, what you say? What? I was hanging. What? I was saying I had a Beskar staff. I was hanging with her. I had her on the. I might have had her on the ropes. You know what I mean? Like, unless she tell her something like
one
that.
Of them things out. Like she had 2 of them things. After when she captured me, she had 1 of them things.
I'm just saying, I ain't no Jedi. I'm a nice sister. Yeah, we go ahead and finish up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to go back to something you said earlier because it's the first thing I noticed when it turned on when the show came. It looked like Star Wars, bro.
Yeah.
Again, not to get into the slurp session. I think that's one of the differences if we looked at Mandalorian season 3 is probably wasn't as Star Wars feel to it.
Great point.
Definitely not as the other 2 seasons.
Great point. You're right.
Probably like into the last episode that some of that stuff came across. Like, okay, this Star Wars. This Star Wars. I don't know how you put with the seasoning you put on it. Whatever happened with the season, whatever it is, but the one thing it won't not be is Star Wars.
Yeah. That's one thing you're not gonna be able to say. Like it might not, hey man, like it might, we don't know, it might tailspin off into some whackness.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't at the end of this, you're not gonna walk away and be like, man, that wasn't Star Wars. That's the last thing you're gonna say about this show. This show is absolutely Star Wars, whether you like it or not. Like, and it's prequel style Star
from
Wars.
The ships landing, but ships from the ships to how they landing to even though it's New Republic, right? Wasn't in the OT, it wasn't in the prequels, but like even that, like it's a Star Wars feel too. I knew instantly beyond the scroll. I knew instantly when it came on, I was in Star Wars. I don't know if Mandalorian season really had that. Scroll was dope. This is what you knew you was in for. We was in for a ride, right? Like,
yeah. So I think he's gonna take his time with 6 episodes.
Yeah, it just depends on how they want to do it. Is it gonna be like a Mandoverse show where it's like, we can go and watch any season of the Mandalorian. And it's always something happened at the beginning. It's like any kind of template TV show. Something happened at the beginning. Then there's like this middle part where it's like a lot of talking. Then there's some kind of finale, right? Like that's TV in general, but then like you really can get to the Mandoverse because Star Wars get to tell you about, we love the training, we love the teachings, we love the lore. So like there may, some kind of embedded in all that, right? And then you have your certain kind of finale. Or this was going to tell if this was going to really tell, is it going to be that Mandoverse or is it Rebels season 5? Where it's like it's always some hijinks and something they gotta find, and then it shouldn't be that line in Star Wars, something like that. Like we just sneak in, shouldn't be a problem, and it's never like that.
Yeah.
So it's either gonna be that or it's gonna be kind of under the Mandoverse kind of template in terms of like how they build up the things. But with Filoni's touch, of course, he's gonna go full Rebels season 5 with it. We just got hijinks and Chopper doing this, and I was happy, man. Chopper had me laughing, man. God, he had me laughing, man.
Bro, man.
It's a way to put in
everything he was saying, bro.
It's a way to put in comedy without having to be like goofy, right? I know, no mind. Let me tell you, Chopper goofy. But how you watch some of these shows, they just like, oh man, y'all trying too hard with the humor, right? Like it's slapstick.
Nah, Filoni gets
Chopper
it, man.
built for that. Chopper built for that.
Filoni gets it, man. He understands the like you said, the hijinks. That's a good question, man. When you put it like that, like, is it gonna be Clone? Like, Yeah, it's gonna be Clone Wars, or it's gonna be the hijinks that we had in Rebels. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. You just walk in, pick it up, we're out of there in no time. It's like
that's every episode.
Never happens like that. Never.
That's every episode of Rebels.
Never
walk in, be quiet, shouldn't be a problem.
Hit the switch, take off. Like, nah. Something happened. Somebody got captured. Somebody was there you wasn't expecting to be there. Damn Inquisitor done jumped off the roof. Helicopter, saber coptered his way over.
You got Ezra trying to do the Force, like,
yeah,
you really want to do this, and the shit don't work. So now they got to knock somebody out.
My name's Lando Calrissian.
Chopper the Hutt.
Chopper the Hutt. Well, what do you say? Well, Chopper. He played along with this shit, knowing damn well his name wasn't no Chopper.
Gonna be that.
The scale he got on the show, though, bro.
The scale, and that's what I was saying earlier about the universe. Like, it got bigger, but maybe it's just the scale of it. Like, maybe I'm saying that, like, the universe, because we understand these new worlds and knew this and do that. But the scale of it.
Scale seem you pause.
Yeah, this joint is big, pause. You're right, man. It's I don't know, man. Just I'm always nervous with this because like come on, man. Don't do this to me, man. That's what it's really about. Like, please don't, man.
Yeah,
just be good, man. I'm not even asking for it. I trust Filoni. Don't get me wrong. I'm not asking for it to be legendary. That's always the hope. Just be when I do a rewatch again, because I do one every quarter, almost every 3 months, that I want to include this season as part of the story. I already feel like it.
Yeah, I feel like it is.
Yeah,
this gonna be a rewatchable show. Yeah, it's gonna be a rewatchable
part of the thing. But like, come on, man, don't let me down. Hey, Filoni, please. Please, man. It's just a TV show.
Oh man.
But please, Filoni, man, don't let me down, man. Like,
and please
don't. I know you're not, but please don't, man.
Yeah, please don't. Filoni, and please don't. Filoni, man, just tell me that everything that Ezra did meant something, bro. Please don't pull this man out of here and he done did something crazy, man. Like you know what I mean? When you pull Ezra out, bro, pause, like, make sure that it's Ezra and that I just don't want to see nothing crazy, man. Like, I want to know that all that everything you did on Rebels meant something.
Absolutely. All right, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, bro. Yeah.